In the last lecture, we have created a new package we called voting system. In this video, we'll continue to work on this. Let's begin. Back to our code, we'll go to our voting system.move and we'll write here some code. So what's the idea behind this application is to create proposals on which we can vote. Each proposal will be an object in Sui blockchain, which we can access and we can change its data. On Sui, or actually I should say in a Move language, the objects will be represented by types, and this you will define with a struct. Okay, so in other languages you have classes, for example. In the C# you have also classes and structs. Here in Move language you are using structs. So to define the proposal, we'll write here public struct like this, and the name of the struct, which will be proposal. Okay, if you want to proposal to be stored on the blockchain, we need to provide to this proposal something called ability. Okay, so when you will write here, actually, I have here currently formatting of 2 spaces in Move. You should be formatting with the 4 spaces. So click here down here, indentation, 2 spaces, and then using spaces, I will use 4 spaces. Okay, so it'll be just from a document. Okay, so I will be using the 4 spaces formatting in for our Move code. Okay, so proposal type, I was talking about the abilities. So ability you will define like this: proposal has key. It's something like, if you think about it as like interfaces, or you are extending the class, well, more about more like an interface, but interface you're defining the methods that the class or struct has to implement. But here we need to define some property that proposal needs to create. So when you will hover over, you will see the actually error. When we define this ability key, you will see the error: invalid object proposal struct with key ability must have ID, UID as their first field. So we need to define here field of ID. So when you define your structs with the ability, okay, so this key is ability, then we need to define this ID field, and this will tell to the Sui to store the proposal on the blockchain under a specific ID, and will be unique ID. Okay, so right here, this first field will be ID of type of UID. So now, when we will be creating the object with this proposal type, we can create this object as the own object or shared object. Okay, so we can create this. Now, when we have a key, we can create it as the owned object, or we can create it as a shared object. When this will be created as we'll show you later how to create it. When it will be created as a shared object, everybody on the blockchain has access to it and can change it. Okay, so on the shared, everybody has access and can change it. When you will create this as an own object, you need to assign it to some owner, so to some address. So for example, to address 0x123 will be owner of this proposal object when we will create it, and only this owner can manipulate it. Okay, everybody on the blockchain can read it, that's okay, but only owner, when his own object, can change it. That's very important. Okay, so we have defined here ability, key ability. The key ability forces us to provide a UID, so unique identifier for this object, and this can be therefore stored also on the blockchain. Okay, so let's provide what else proposal should have. Proposal should have title, description, how many people voted yes for it, how many people voted for this no, expiration date, and then creator of this proposal, and let's say a registry of all of the addresses that voted for this proposal. So let's write it title, and that's how we're writing the types for this field, column, and the type. So this will be string. You see the string is not here in the context, so we need to write here use. We need to get it in the context here. So use std, so this is a standard library, column, use the string, and get here string type. And now we can use here string. Okay, comma, and each proposal will have a description, which will be also string type. How many people voted yes? So voted underscore yes underscore count. Type of this will be unsigned integer 64 bits, so U64. The voted no count, rather voted no count, and this will be again U64. And expiration date, so expiration, also this will be U64, so this expiration will be described by the number U64, and then the creator of this, okay, creator or author of this proposal, we can also write it author or creator, whatever, creator, and this will type is be address type, and then also how many, the list of all of the addresses that voted for this proposal. For now, very simply, just let's write here voter registry, voter underscore registry, and this will be a vector type, and then pointy brackets. You'll write here the data will be stored, this will be vector of addresses. Vectors are like a list, okay? You can view it in the JavaScript as the list where you can store multiple data, okay? So list of data when you can have all the addresses that voted for this. So 0x123, 0xaf, 0x something, something, something. So list of all of the addresses that voted for this proposal. Okay, so our struct is described. Now we can create a function that we can call. So this package will be published on the blockchain. We can make a transaction and to call the function that we are going to create. So it's rather public function, it has to be public to be accessible. Public function, function, you decide with this keyword fun, okay? And the function name will be create underscore proposal. Maybe you're noticing one thing, that's the naming of our fields, functions, and the structs. For the naming of our fields and the functions, we are using the snake case. So the names are like this. Let's say particle underscore system, if it would be field or the function name. But if it will be struct name, we'll be using the particle system, so Pascal case. Okay, so that's a good thing to know. Okay, so let's continue with this function. This is a public function, create a proposal. We'll be passing here arguments and also function body arguments are going here in the normal bracket. So what the informations we need in order to create proposal, these informations will be, by the way, sent as a transactions to your package to be called. And we'll be sending the title for our proposal. This will be string type, then description. This will be also string type. We'll be sending the expiration. It will be U64, and also something that's called that's passed here is a context, and this will be transaction context. So this will be tx context type, and this is passed by the execution environment on the node. So that's not something that you are passing. That's something that's passed automatically when the function is called by the execution context. You're getting the transaction context, and from the transaction context you can extract some of the important informations, for example the sender of the transaction. Okay, so this is transaction context, and now we can finally create a proposal. So how you are doing, how you can create a proposal with the move language. First we'll create here a local variable called proposal, like this. And to create a proposal, objective will use the struct name. So the type of this will be proposal and curly brackets, and this will create a proposal. You can see here red lines because we need to pass here the fields, ID, title, description, and so on. So for the ID, you will do it like this, ID column. You can see this is very similar to object in the JavaScript, how you create them. ID column, and the value for the ID will be object, column, new. You are calling the new function on the object, and you will need to pass the ctx to it, like this. Then you continue with the title. I don't need to write title, column, title, because the name of the field and the name of the parameter is the same, so just title. Then continue with the description. Okay. Then voted yes count and voted no count. So voted yes count will be 0 initially. Voted no count will be initially 0. We'll be passing here expiration, and also creator of this creator. Again, this we can extract as a set from the context. So ctx.sender. This will get me address of the creator or the sender of the transaction, which will be the creator of the proposal, and voter underscore registry, which will be empty vector. Empty vector will define like this, vector, column, and this. Okay, we are seeing here one issue. Let's take a look. Invalid call of new function, invalid argument of parameter ctx, we have given transaction context, but what's expected is a mutable reference. So this is saying here this ampersand sign is the reference and mutable is the mutable keyword. Okay, what are the references and mutables? Very briefly, when you are accessing your data, let's say you have variable a, let's say it is stored somewhere on your computer, let's say value 7 under the address, let's say 0x12123. When you're accessing something by the value, you are getting the actual value under this address. But when you are accessing something by the reference, so this is ampersand sign, whatever, how it's written, ampersand sign like this. So you have when you're accessing A by the reference, you're accessing the pointer to the actual where the value is stored. Okay, so that's a difference between the getting something by the value and getting something by the reference. Also, additionally to it, when you want to change something in Move or in Rust language, because they are very similar, you need to explicitly say that something is mutable. So I cannot just change anything without a mutable keyword. So if I will define some object, I cannot change I cannot change its fields without defining this object as a mutable one. So that's why there is the need to define this as the mutable reference. When you will write it, you will get rid of the error and you can create your proposal object. But there are still some more restrictions here. You can see we have here still error. This will not compile. So what this error says? So invalid return. The local variable proposal still contains a value. The value does not have the drop ability. About the drop ability we'll be talking later, and must be consumed before the function returns. So this is very important. Must be consumed before the function returns. So Move language try to simulate real life objects. So you want to simulate how the assets work in the real life. So for example, if I would create a proposal for something, I need to assign it to, before I will finish the function, I need to assign it to something or to someone. So this proposal needs to either belong to some owner, or I can assign this proposal as to be with a shared ownership. Okay, so I need to do final handling here. When you create something, you need to also handle it. So in this case, we would like to share this object. This will be the shared object. We talked about the owned object and also shared ones. This will be the shared one, so anybody can access it and change it. So we'll write here transfer. Okay, column, and you will call here share object, and you want to share your proposal, and you will get rid of the error. So now we handle it. We declare this object as to be shared one, so anybody can access it and change it. Why we are doing it as a shared object? Because anybody will be able to vote on it, and this way we can change the count of votes. So we can either increment the yes count or no count. So every participant can change the proposal. That's why this object is shared. And also this syntax here, transfer column, and share object is the function name, share object, and transfer is module. So you can see it's this module, this package, in the SUI package, in the module transfer. You can actually take a look at this. When you will press the control or command, you can go to transfer. You can see here you have this module, SUI transfer module, and there is this function we have just called public transfer. Okay, or share object. We didn't call public transfer. We'll be doing public transfer later, but we call here share object. Okay, I think this lecture is getting long enough. So just to recapitulate this, we have created here a struct, which has a key ability, which force us to declare here field ID. So this will be created on the SUI blockchain under the unique ID. We have created here public function, so we can make a transactions and call this function when the package will be deployed, and we can pass to this function three values: title, description, and expiration. When we'll pass these values and create this call this function, this will create a new proposal with this information we are passing here. Whenever you are creating the object, you need to also handle it, and we are handling it that we are sharing this object. So this will be shared object type. So anybody can access it and also change it. Okay, that should be it for this lecture. Maybe just one more thing, just to verify. When you want to go to your terminal, go to your voting application, and you can run here command sui move and build. And sui, I am in the wrong folder. Yeah, I need to go to my voting system. See, to my we did one small mistake. I have here directly voting system. I would like to have a different folder for it, but that doesn't matter. Let's compile this in the next video. Yeah, let's keep it this way. I want to change also the folder structure. Yeah, let's see you in the next video. Cheers.